Hey, Milkway, I had some thoughts. I was coming across people arguing over how they're counted as being indigenous, how they're counted like, how come you don't count us because we're part? How come people that are on reservations don't count us? And at the same time, on the other side, some people on reservations, some people that are off of them that are related, they don't have time or talk about subjects like this. So they kind of divide us amongst each other when people have questions that don't pertain to one of the things that are doing or happening on the reservation. There's certain things going on like lithium mines, for instance. Some of the people that are on TikTok are talking about that. Reconnection and talk about how they're not included. I'll give you an example of some things that even happened to me. I mean, I went down to an Apache reservation. I am Apache from my mother's side, from my grandmother's side. My grandmother was actually probably on the reservation, but she left. It was in Arizona. We think it's San Carlos. I mentioned that once. Plus, I went to another reservation called White Mountain Apache Reservation. I went to see a sunrise ceremony there. I think I put a video up of me being there, and one of my followers that I've had since I've started stopped following me. Pretty big person that she was. And I thought that, well, what did I do? I haven't done nothing to make her mad or anything, but sometimes there's some things that go on amongst people, amongst themselves on a reservation that you don't know about. You might know a family that might have hurt that person, might have made them embarrassed or something. So you being associated with that person, you have nothing to know about that. That's what happens on a reservation. You know, that came out wrong. It's not what you know, it's who you know when it comes out to the reservations, because you might know something, but just because you know it, you ain't gonna get any far with it if you don't know the right person to get it done. That's true. The reason why I talk about this is because I've walked this path. I went and talked to people on a reservation. I've talked to people that are off reservation. And myself, as I'm not included or raised on one, but I'm related to people. And I discovered some of the people I was talking to were actually relations to me, like Alvino Siba, that was from Cupa, and I didn't even know it. So you never know where your passion's gonna take you. And don't let that stop you because someone told you, well, you're not from here, or well, you don't speak our language. One of the things that Albino used to tell me, he used to tell me that, hey, if you hear spirits and you hear them in your head, if they don't speak Kuya, they're not your family. And I was thinking to myself, he's right. But as we got closer, I would tell him, so how would I know what it sounds like if I don't know the language? And as time went on, as I knew it, you do hear stuff like that. But how did I end up with him before I even knew all that happened? How do I end up with a person that's from the reservation that my family left? I mean, the generation that my grandma left back in 1909. You see, those things would have happened if I just go ahead and listen to other people. This app doesn't help with that. But this app also helps with the perspectives of people that are from there that I wish I had before. With me, it was just YouTube and how people were doing it wrong, and how people were recording it wrong, recording the whole song for everybody to learn, and that was wrong. So I went and I got a camera and I talked to the right people and told them to set it straight. So what I was supposed to be, and that's how that project came about. While talking to a people of a culture that do bird singing, they basically wanted it to be traditional and didn't want it to be out there for main media to know and copy, like say, like a commercial or something. Like we ended up expanding it too by showing other people that are on the outside what it's really about. From newspapers to film festivals, from USC Film School to Olga Callante's Film Festival. These things are important to share. You know, they're important to share with you, to say that you can go far with your passion, and people that believe in you that are on a reservation will actually help you and see if you're related to them or not on their own. You don't need to push anything if you really have a passion to what you really want to know. And my case was the culture that my family left. So don't turn around and be disappointed at all. There's no point to this except that don't stop what you're doing if you really love your culture. And if you're traditional and you're already there, then good for you. That's great that you know your culture. And that's great that you can probably tell somebody, well, what do you know? Well, what I know what it is like to be out here, how it is to buy your own home, run your own business, and make it out here with all that diversity out here that I have to deal with. That's on our own land, and I say it in a kind way. You know, the colonization that I got to go through and perform in. When you're on a reservation, you don't have to do that. You just have to do it amongst yourselves. And I know that sounds bad, but it's true. You know, just like one time, after I was told I was family at Salmon Well, I get kicked out of what I was doing right before my hips went out. It's kind of like the timing was perfect on that. Even people started talking smack because the other person that was up there, the narcissist, said, I didn't want to get paid for what I was doing. You got to eat it because nothing you could do because they're a reservation. They're not a company you can go after. They're your family. And so just like your family at home, if you're not from a reservation, things can happen. You got to be prepared for that. It doesn't make you, their rejection of you doesn't make you who you are. They're just rejecting themselves because they can't be accepted from you. And that's basically what's happening. So you just move on. Because your talent, your thing that you're doing right now to make yourself feel better about yourself, to know where you come from and who you've done, and everything you've done to that point was from the heart. You have nothing to worry about. You really don't. And so that's why I want to leave with that. If you come from the heart, you know what you're doing. You know you want to make it right. You know you want to do it right. And you want to get these people their voice and yourself. And you want to find yourself where the truth came from, like saying the family with mine. You just got to start and stop one-upping one another, making fun of one another, making fun of people that are older because they don't know what they're doing, but actually they already traveled that path. And to think that you're not supposed to travel the path to find out some of the information that you can just look it up on Google, that's a big mistake. It really is. Because I had YouTube back then in the early 2000s and before that. Anyway. All right then. That's what I have to say for now about creativity. Achim.